Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Breakfast and Business. Today's layout and everything is all going to be slightly different. I'm going to be showing you some bits and pieces as we go through today, setting you up for a challenge over the next 7 days. We talked about it all throughout this week, all the different topics that we've covered, everything that's been involved throughout the week, and I'm going to break that down for you really quickly and easily, and how to implement everything that we've been showing you. I'm going to show you specifically here inside of the challenge today. I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So as you come in, remember, with Breakfast and Business, please do let us know exactly where you're tuning in from, whether you're live or on the replay, and also drop your name. Try to tell us something interesting about yourself today whilst we get set up for this morning's challenge. Going to really quickly set something up over here. There we go. So I am ready to share with you today. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a screen share with you today, so slightly different view, slightly different setup today. I'm coming to you from the computer today because I'm going to want to show you how we can do some of the things that we've talked about throughout the week. I gave you a little bit of a demo the other day, but I wanted to do it a little bit more comprehensively. Now, for the purposes of for the purposes of what we're going to be doing today, I'm going to share with you specifically on my iPhone. We will look through Android options as well, and if I can, I'll try to get you an Android screen share set up during the broadcast as well. But everything you can do inside of the iPhone, you'll be able to do within the Android. It's going to have slightly different settings as well. But throughout this week, I'm going to hold you guys accountable. Now, if you're up for this challenge, if you're all in, if you're invested in this challenge, then I really want to encourage you to say, I'm in. Write I'm in down in the comments. Remember, with Breakfast and Business, it's all about active participation. So good to have you here, whether you're here inside of Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, or over on the other platforms, over on Instagram. Sorry if I disappear off camera for a second. I need to be able to check the Instagram on the other screen. So good morning, Ella. Good morning, Mum. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning, Bev. Good to have you all in on the challenge. Now, if you're all in, if you want to raise your productivity by a massive amount, write I'm in down in the comments. I want to see some active participation today. Remember, with all Breakfast and Business, use the tools of the platform. So Instagram, Periscope and Twitter, you guys got that little heart button that you can use. Facebook, you've got the reactions button. YouTube, you've got the thumbs up. But use the platform tools. But one thing you can do across all the different platforms is use the red, yellow and orange emojis. You guys on Instagram, this is probably a bit weird because you're getting to see the behind the scenes of me creating this, of me broadcasting. I want to see lots of stuff coming up for you on here on the screen. I want to see you getting involved. I want to see you hitting the share button and telling other people. Let's raise your productivity, not just today. It's not just a join a challenge thing. This is moving forwards so that we can show you exactly how everything works. Now, really excited to be bringing this to you today. I promised you during the week that if you get involved and you're actively here on Saturday, we're going to really change how you do things. Remember, we've talked about all the different elements of changing how you do things, and I want to share with you how we can raise your productivity a massive amount today. Sorry, I'm just trying to grab I'm having a bit of a tech issue here this morning. For some reason, one of my applications doesn't want to move on my computer. Let's quickly try that one more time. Over here. Okay. Just bear with me for a couple of seconds, just bringing up my notes on screen for me. So I'm referring, those on Instagram will see a little bit of this over on the other side. If anyone's having problems with Facebook, let me know. I see Bev down there mentioning there's a couple of problems that she's having with Facebook this morning. I know it's been a little bit glitchy. It's been a few issues, but they're running some updates, and obviously they're trying to innovate really quickly. And every time they do, potentially other things break. So this morning, brilliant to see everybody getting involved. So remember, if you want to get involved in this challenge proactively, then you want to say, I'm in. Definitely do that. Good morning, Angus. Good morning, Dave, tuning in. Good morning. I think Ella's in on the broadcast as well. Good to see you in on the broadcast over on Instagram. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to share with you a little bit about how you can set yourself up for better productivity. I've talked to you about all the topics throughout the week, and now I'm going to break that down for you. Remember, Monday we talked all about your mindset for better productivity. You have to be able to approach this. So as you go into this challenge, you need to have an open mind to being able to be more productive. We're going to show you lots of bits and pieces about how you can specifically improve your productivity. It's people saying that they didn't get a notification, so just bear with me for a hot second. I'm going to quickly share this into my wall and also over to the group and into our Facebook community, just to give everybody the very best chance of being here for the challenge. Now, as you come in, if you're all in on this challenge, I want to hear you saying all in or I'm in down in the comments, and I want you to make that commitment in front of everybody else. It's all about making sure that you're going to take massive action. So just bear with me whilst I quickly do breakfast and business search here, and I'm going to drop this link for everybody down in the discussion of the event as well. Post in the event. Live right now, come and join us. Live right now, come and join us. So, like I said, this is all about making this as easy and accessible for you guys as possible. We can only rely so much on the platforms to deliver the notifications, to know what's happening, and my job is to make sure it's easy and accessible. Now, every week we're creating an event on Facebook and on LinkedIn that shows you the whole schedule. You guys on Instagram will have a little bit of an extra insight here to what I'm doing. This has got my notes, and this notes tab is exactly how I'm managing and moving everything from one place to another. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move my notes really, really quickly here, and so I can show you in real time exactly what we do to set up these broadcasts, and also how you can use this yourself to move things around and to get some really, really amazing results for your business. So here we go. Let's get these two things set up over here, and let's get this in up here as well. Now, I'm going to do a quick screen share. I'm going to run you through. I've got my phone wired to the computer so I can show you. Now, hopefully it's going to hold out as we go through this. Sometimes it drops out, so if it does, please bear with me. Sometimes it's just the connection that I've got it through on. It's wired in, so you guys on Instagram, you should be able to see all of this well. If you can't, let me know, and we can see what we can do for you guys a little bit later. Now, who's in on the challenge? Let's run through. I've said hi to a few people already this morning. Mum, of course, taking massive action. The Go Live Granny. She's the Go Live Granny. She goes live at 10 o'clock every evening for her community. She's doing some amazing work there, so fantastic to see you jumping in. Bev, all in, outside of my comfort zone. Don't use my phone enough. So we're looking at your mobile phone while we're doing this. So we're going to show you how you can change some of the activities that you currently do on your computer and how you can move those over to your mobile phone and how that's going to increase your productivity level. Bev is all in. Sally is in as well, dropping all sorts of the red circle emoji. So remember, you can use red, yellow and orange emojis to show me that you're following along, that you're excited, that it makes sense to you. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, the red, yellow and orange emojis work irrespective of platform. So amazing to have you in. Elizabeth is all in, excited to have you joining us in as well. Bev just dropping in here as well to say that. Here's the demo of the red, yellow and orange emojis. Let us know. We want you to be proactive. We want you to comment, to mention that you're interested and involved. Kate is getting all involved as well. Dave Unwin, come on, let's see an I'm in. I want to see you all actively participating. Now, what I'm going to be sharing and showing you are some of the ways that we do things within our business, and I'm going to share how you can implement these yourself. So I'm going to run through, I've got my mobile phone wired up, and I'm going to bring that up on screen. I've also got my notepad, so we're going to show you a few different things about how you can utilize this. A lot of people sent me great feedback when we did the tools section in the middle. Now I'm going to show you those tools, and I'm going to set you the exact challenge that I want you to go through this week. Now, if you're all in, those people have said I'm in, I'm going to drop you all a message after the broadcast. So no matter what platform you're on, I'm going to drop you a DM, a PM, a message on the platforms where you're talking to us through the broadcast. And I'm going to drop you a message because I want to hold you accountable to being on this challenge. So if you're up for being involved, up for being accountable, use the platform tools or drop red, yellow or orange emojis right now to show me how committed you are. I'm going to ask for a contact number, and then we're going to contact you on a daily basis for the next 7 days just to make sure that you're staying accountable, you're staying on track, and we're going to help you to take massive action as we do this. Now, I'm going to show you how I set up Breakfast and Business as an example of how you can be more productive. So if you bear with me, I'm going to really quickly set up the screen share here, and then we're going to go through that. So drop those red, yellow or orange emojis in the comments if you're excited, if you're fired up for this and you're ready to be held accountable and take massive action on your productivity this week. Hopefully we're going to see some emojis dropping all in. Really good to see all of you jumping in and dropping emojis. So here we go. Let's go screen share here. Now I'm going to bring up here on the side, you're going to see my mobile phone. You're also going to see my notes. So this is my notes from my mobile. So I'm going to bring this up for you really quickly, and you can then see how we set up the broadcast. Because if I show you how we set up the broadcasts, this is going to help you to realize how quickly and easily you can do most of the things that you do within your mobile phone as well. So as we move forward with this, bear with me because this is going to be slightly different because I'm using multiple screens, and I'm also keeping an eye on Instagram. So if you see me disappear away from the camera, that is part of the reason why. So just bear with me. I'm actually going to go full screen on the share so that you guys have the very best view of what I'm going to be talking about. Now, on the left-hand side, you can see my mobile phone screen, and on the right-hand side is just my notes. So because I use Apple devices, I've got my notes that sync between my mobile phone and also across onto my laptop, my phone, my computer, and I'm going to show you how we utilize a lot of these tools. So if you're ready, let's see those emojis down in the comments, red, yellow, orange emojis. And if you're in for the challenge and you're super excited to be increasing your productivity, type I'm in the comments, and I'll connect with all of you and make sure that we're holding you accountable throughout the week so that you get the very best results. Now, I talked to you about voice to text, text to voice. And some people asked how to do it. Now, it wasn't very clear on screen when we did it before, so I'm going to show you how we can utilize some of those things, and then I'll show you how we will create some new bits and pieces too. So here we go. We're going to go straight in on setting this up. So within the accessibility options is where you're going to find stuff. So as I walk through this, I'll try to talk you through all the taps that I'm making on my mobile so that you can see what you're having to do to get there and how to implement it yourself. So here we go. I'm about to set up I'll show you how to set up the voice to text and the text to voice within an iPhone. Android has similar features and functionality, but we'll have to walk you through that as a separate thing. If you're on Android, bear with us because the principle is still the same and you're going to do the same thing. So within your iPhone, we're going to go into your settings. So this is, I've got dark mode on, so just bear with me with that. So if we're going into settings, make sure, by the way, guys, if you need to write this down or you want to recap it, you can watch it and come back. Make sure that you put your notes down. Make a note that about 13 minutes in is where we're starting with all of the actionable stuff so that you can come back, you can watch the replay, and you can make your notes. If you just want to watch along, that's fine. So we've gone into the settings here, and then we're going to go down to general settings, and then if we scroll up a little bit and go to keyboard. Now, inside of keyboards, really, really important, you need to swipe up, and this very bottom one you can see here, we need to turn on dictation. Now, mine's obviously already on, but this little tab here is going to add a little microphone to the bottom of your keyboard. It's going to help you to be able to speak and right with your voice. What you want to do is be able to do this for all of the different applications that we're going to be showing you and running you through today, and then I'll show you some of the practical application of this. Now, I'm going to jump back out here because there is another bit that we need to go to, which is our accessibility options. I'll try and remember where this is now. General, I think it's in general. To bear with me just whilst I find this one, because obviously this has been set up for me for quite a while now. Actually, let's just quickly do a search at the top there. So we're going to go into accessibility. And within accessibility, if you go down to, where are we? Which one are we on? So here we go, spoken content. So there we go. So we're going into accessibility, then it's spoken content. So you can see this little tab just here that I'm highlighting at the moment. If you go into spoken content here, then you're going to have these other options. Now, you can set up how you like to consume this, but you want to have speak selection and speak screen on. Now, the reason for that is because we're going to be able to do that thing that I showed you on Wednesday. If you missed Wednesday, we talked through some of the tools that I'm showing you today, but in a little bit less refined detail. And what we're doing today is helping you to be able to bookmark things, come back to them, and get them read back to you so that you don't have to stop and read that web page, that email, that text message. You can do this with so many different things. Now, I'm not giving you all of the things this week because there's so many productivity hacks that we can share with you that you use from within your mobile, but this is actually going to leverage that time for you to make sure that you're getting the most out of your time. So first things first, we're going to turn on dictation, which I just did through settings, keyboards, enable dictation, and now we're just turning on through the accessibility options and spoken content. This then gives me the option to turn on two things. One at the top, which is speak selection, so I can select things on my screen and get them read back to me. So if you want to read a section of a web page, you'd be able to select it, hit speak, and it would just read it out to you. Or speak screen, which is the two fingers at the top of the screen and swipe down. Android has similar equivalent accessibility features, but I will have to run through a separate Android thing, because obviously the iPhone is the one that I primarily use today. So if you're on Android, please do hang in there with us. We're going to show you the principle behind it, and just the terminology and where you find it will be ever so slightly different. So here we go. We're going to go through how you set this up. So we've turned on the speak selection and the speak screen section. We've also turned on the dictation. Now what we're going to do is show you exactly how this works. So if we come out to... let's go here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new note. Let's come back to here. So those of you who don't know, notes appears, you can see it on my mobile phone in the top row, second from the right, and you can also see it on my mobile on the right hand side. So basically this is a whole load of notes that is shared between both my devices. We're talking about productivity. We want it to appear on all our devices so that we can access it from either. So as we go through, I'm going to show you exactly how this works. Now, this is on my computer, this right-hand side, and you can actually use voice activation here. Now, my microphone is currently in use in StreamYard to do the broadcast, so I can't demonstrate that live within this part, but you can set up, I know on my Mac, I can set it up to press two buttons, enable dictation in the same way I have on my phone, and speak into my microphone in order to dictate and narrate what I want written out. So remember, all of these things are like having that PA in your pocket. We're specifically focused on the mobile, but just to be aware it is possible on the computer as well. But let's focus on doing this on the computer, and where we're going to do this is inside of Notes. So if we go into Notes, and then we're going to go all of iCloud and write a brand new note. So what we'll do here As I use this left hand side, which is my mobile phone, the right hand side here, which is my notes on my computer, will update. And I'm in, if I go to all iCloud, this is all iCloud as well. When I write here, it will also appear over here. We're talking about productivity, and when we create in one place, we want it to be available and accessible in multiple places. So as we do this, we're going to make sure that you can see this in action so that you know that we're not just talking about it. This is actually practically applied. So this morning we're going to demonstrate how dictation works on your mobile as an accessibility tool and productivity tool. So all I've done there is, you can see at the bottom, the microphone at the very bottom of the screen on the keyboard. If I'm just going to have to disable the banner for a second because it's sat behind there. So you can see there the microphone on the keyboard, very bottom left-hand side of the keyboard on the phone. What I've done there is I've enabled the dictation there. You saw me speaking. You saw the waveforms come up on the screen. It's written that content there, but you'll notice on the right-hand side here, there is the same note. So the left hand side is my mobile phone and the right hand side is my desktop. So it's using notes through iCloud. So obviously it's connecting my Mac and my mobile phone, my iPhone, and bringing one thing straight across to the other. Another way you'd be able to do this if you're on Android or using Google would be using something like Google Docs, so that when you put it into Google Docs, you can access it across multiple machines, and that's not device specific. It doesn't instantly appear on that device, but it's accessible from all of them. So as a productivity tool, use something that allows you to move content from one to the other really, really quickly. So you've seen me do it, and I want you guys to embrace this technology yourselves. It's going to feel uncomfortable, it's going to feel weird, it's going to be a little bit different for you in the way that you approach things, but it's going to change your productivity massively. Remember that people speak at around about 120 words a minute, and most people type at about 40 words a minute. So simply using your voice is going to allow you to leverage your time better. Now, we talked about using it both ways, so I've just put that in using my voice. You've literally seen me doing it. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to use this left hand side here, which is my mobile phone, and I'm going to use the 2-finger swipe down option in order to read my screen. Let me just turn my volume up. Now hopefully this will come up nice and smoothly and loud for you guys who are listening. Bear with me whilst I quickly bring this back up. I just realized my audio is obviously coming through the, let's just bear with this. So I'm actually going to have to unplug to demonstrate this, so the screen will disappear for a minute because of course the audio is locked into the recording that we were just doing. So if I unplug that, what we're going to do here, if I bring myself back up on screen, show you exactly what we're doing. So I've just brought this up on here, so you should both be able to see this now. All I'm going to do is 2 fingers from the top.
So this morning we are going to demonstrate how dictation works on your mobile as an accessibility tool and productivity tool.
Now I've got this, you can see, turned up to 1.5 times speed because I can process it at that level and I want to make the best use of my time. So you can actually speed it up the same way that you can watch YouTube videos sped up as well. I want to show you that all of the things that you can do that will speed up the process for you utilizing these tools. So remember, you've got to turn these things on there. Some of them are on natively, some of them aren't. It depends on your devices. I really want to help you to get the most out of all of the options that we use, that we're sharing with you. So I'm going to quickly bring that phone back up on the screen. As predicted, when you're live, everything doesn't like to go smoothly. So I'm just going to reopen the application so that you guys can see what's happening. Here we go, let's bring this back up on the screen. So we're going to change this over to iPhone so that you can see this. Let's quickly swap this over. Change that one. Just bear with me whilst this quickly loads up again. Like I said, technology always likes to play when we're trying to demonstrate stuff. So here we go. Let's bring this all back up in here. Let's bring this screen share back into the broadcast. So I've just demonstrated to you how you can use your voice to write this, and then you can swipe down in order to get it spoken back to you. Now, there is dictation functionality within the keyboards for Google Keyboard, so I know that you can definitely do that side. There's also going to be things where you might have to install an application, but trust me, even if it cost you a couple of pounds to get that application, the amount of time and effort it's going to save you in the long run will be absolutely worth the investment. So tell me quickly on a scale of 1 to 10 how useful you think both those tools would be now before I break down exactly how you can use them. So we're talking about voice to text, text to voice, and also integrating across something like Google Drive and Google Docs, and also looking at how you would use maybe notes if you're on an iPhone and Apple devices. So let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how useful you found the first tip so far. And see all sorts of emojis coming in. Sally getting excited with the red ring emojis over there. See Elizabeth loving the content as well. My mum dropping a load of emojis in there too. Eddie Young getting involved. Elizabeth getting even more excited down there. Even more emojis coming in. Mum saying 10, an absolute killer of a tip. Eddie, 9. Yep, got more still to come. Don't worry, Eddie. We'll push that number up as well. Kate saying it's coming in as a 10. So these things are not natively how you might necessarily use your devices at the moment. What I'm showing you is that you have to think consciously. Remember I talked to you about the process of how you have to go in with a mindset of how things are going to work, and are they as productive as they could be? Are the tools that you're using working the best for you? Are they the best tools, or have you just fallen into some tools and been too busy to assess them and decide whether they're better? So that mindset that we talked about from Monday is really, really important. Now, the second one, the thing that we talked about on Tuesday, is about planning. If we don't plan to do this, it's not going to work. We have to put the pieces in place in order for it to work, which is, again, from Friday, talking about the process. Build the process, but also have a plan of how you're going to use it. It's not going to be applicable to everything, and when you first start doing it, it's going to make a difference. It's going to make a change to how you implement this. So Ella, need to set this up as we go through. So yeah, brilliant to have you jumping over to Facebook, Ella, and doing it as we go along. So put this into practice. So a very quick recap is you need to go into settings, you need to go into keyboard, and you need to enable dictation, and then you need to go to settings, and then it was, I'm just going to quickly bring it back up again. So the second one is then accessibility options, spoken content, and you need to turn on speak selection and speak screen. So Ella, that's a quick recap for you if you're setting up your iPhone now. So we need to have that mindset. If I'm focused on my productivity, are the systems and the tools that I'm using as efficient as they can be? Are there more things that I could be using that could improve my functionality, could improve how I deliver, how quickly I can get things done, and how well I can improve my processes? Today and this week, I want to improve your productivity massively. It's not just a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds. I'm talking about saving you hours of time cumulatively across all the things I'm going to show you how to do. So really important that you understand this and you get how powerful this can be. You might be in a process where you wake up in the morning, you check your emails on your phone, you then go to the computer in order to deal with those emails. I want to break the cycle of bad productivity, and I want to increase the level of efficiency with which you are dealing with every task. The fact that we have smartphones in our pockets, they are literally powerful little computers that are going to allow us to do so much more than we've ever been able to do before, but only when you access all of the tools that are available to you. How many people, by quick comment down below the broadcast, how many of you have been using any of the features that I've shown you? Maybe you've used them, and I want you to break down. Have you used them once or twice and you knew about them? Have you never used them? And how excited are you about using them moving forwards? Quickly let me know that in the comments whilst I have a sip of my tea and check on the guys on Instagram. Good to see you, Chrissy. Nice to have you in on the broadcast. Let me know whether you've used any of these tools in the past. If you're currently using them as well, I want to know how much you've been using these tools, if you've ever used them. Mum uses voice to text always. So there's other things that you can do. A lot of people send voice notes, but actually using voice to text might be even more powerful for you in your business. And I'll tell you exactly why it might be more powerful. If you send a voice note, it's powerful, it's impactful. I can hear your voice. We can connect. But here's a challenge. When you go back and search, until they improve search functionality, you cannot search for something someone said in a voice note. Think about that for a minute. If you've had a big, long conversation, it's great. It gets you to where you want to go quicker. But you have to be focused on the result of productivity later. If someone forgets something, if they haven't made notes, if they need to go back and recap on it, they might need to search through the chat. And if everything's been done in voice notes, they won't be able to search it. So absolutely key. Kate, I see that you've solved your own problem in the time I've been talking. Mum's saying I taught her. So yes, this is something I do. I teach, I give talks around productivity. So if you know any networking groups, any conferences, any events, and you think this would add value, please do let them know and get them to get in touch. Do the introduction. I'm doing this because I want to see the level of productivity in small businesses globally increased. And I've always challenged myself to raise it by a number, and I go for around about 400%. And I'll break down how I get to that number as well. Bev's saying she's trying to set up the phone, but using Alexa to remind me of notes. Amazing, Bev, to hear how you're using that as well. Elizabeth saying she's never used them, only ever used voice notes. That's one way that you can be using productivity tools. It does save you the time of stopping and typing. So that's a productivity hack. But watch how we do this. It's going to be amazing. Kate's coming in live from the New Forest. Great to have you in as well. Eddie's saying use them, but my brain is not quick enough. Okay, brilliant. Sally, imagine how long my voice to text messages could be. So this is it. Sally, you've gone to the next thing that I was going to talk about. So watch this as we go through this broadcast. I'm going to share with you. I'm going to come back up here, and what we're actually going to do is we are going to go let's go full screen with this, and then I'm going to write a brand new note, and then as we go forwards with this, watch what happens now when we do this. So I need to do this on my mobile because we're going to do it here. I'm going to try and break this into a slightly better process here. So give me 1 second to change my screen view, because this will be important for you guys to see. If I bring my phone into shot here so you can see that I'm using my phone. So I'm going to quickly type this, just so that I can bring up the note over on the computer so you can see it. I'm going to type the first line. And what I'm actually going to do is remove it so that we know that we're in the correct note. Now I'm going to show you Sally saying about how long the voice to text messages could be based on the fact she uses voice notes a lot. Sally and I communicate a lot through voice notes, and what she actually does is she's using her time effectively and efficiently, sending a minute at a time, asking the question, getting the help she needs really, really quickly. Now, if I quickly, I'm actually going to flip this back to this view so that it's slightly larger. Don't worry too much, Sally, about how long that text would be, comma, the functionality that you add and the productivity that you improve is the important thing. Full stop, new paragraph. Think about how much text you could write in how little time, comma, and then realize that you could write a book, comma, send an email, comma, or respond to people on social media. So all I've done is talk into my mobile phone. You can see it in my notes here on my mobile phone. You should also have been able to see it coming up here on the computer. So this text here is, let's quickly go. Let's make this bigger. Let's make this bigger so you guys can see the text here. So this text that you can now see up on the screen is exactly what I just dictated into my phone. So it is working across both things. Kate asking, can you use this to dictate while you're driving? So there's a slightly different functionality here, and I would suggest that a better use of your time whilst you're driving would be to use use things like audiobooks, or to have, if there's a big long document that you need to read, you could start it before you start driving. You could have it read back to you with the text to voice, and that could read that content back to you. If you know there's lots of things that you wanted to read, I would copy and paste them all into one document and then clearly label them with headings so that you know where they're from and what they are. Literally copying the page contents from a web page, putting it into notes or something, so that when you're then about to go on a long drive, if you had 4 or 5 web pages that you wanted to read, you could put in there a subheading that says which web page it was and copy their content. I would advise not trying to do everything whilst you're driving. Obviously, the reason that you're in the car is to get from A to B safely, and I want to encourage you not to use your mobiles in your car if you can help it, because some places it's completely illegal, other places it's just ill-advised. Remember that your safety and the safety of others comes into question if you try to use this in the car. There are, however, some things that you can do with voice-enabled activities, but remember, everything that you're doing away from focusing on driving is diverting some of your attention. So I want to be a voice of reason here, that yes, you can respond to things, you can use things like Siri and other functionalities like that in order to respond. You can get your text messages read to you, which is useful. Just saying, read me my last text message, things like that, where they can help you to not, if you're on a 3-4 hour drive, you're always going to have breaks, you're always going to have stops, and that's really the time. And knowing that you're going to stop and have 10 minutes when you stop and go to the toilet or you grab a coffee, use that 10 minutes really productively and efficiently using voice to text and text to voice. That's a better way to spend your time doing this. So really, really try not to use this to leverage it in a way that could be unsafe. Make sure that you realize that those stops become so much more productive that you don't need to do it in between. I hope that makes sense. I hope that answers your question as well, Kate. So really, really powerful. Make sure, like my mum's just dropped down here in the comments, please do drive safe, because it's not just you, it's everybody else on the road and around you. Just think for a minute how you would feel if you knew someone was doing something on their phone and hurt somebody that you know. Keep that in your mind all the time when you're out and you're there. It will hold you accountable and keep you on track. Now, you'll have noticed when I did this note, I put in full stops, I put in paragraph breaks and line breaks, stuff like that. You get to learn how to do this the more you use it. On an iPhone, it gets the technology gets better the more you use it. Unfortunately, on Android, it's already better than the other tools, but it doesn't get much better. So as we go forwards with this, I want you to understand how to use this. So it's illegal to use it whilst you're driving. Yeah, absolutely. So if your voice, it's actually the technology of using your phone, so the handling and things like that is actually the problem. But I'm going to challenge you and say that actually even using voice-enabled technology is still diverting some of your attention away from driving. And it should be that you're fully focused on your driving. Now, we know in reality, people are having conversations, people are, listening to audiobooks or singing along to songs. So not 100% of their attention rarely is ever on the road, which is actually unfortunate. But I want to tell you and remind you, try and use this sensibly. Use the breaks, use the time that you stop to use that time productively and efficiently so that you can get the most out of this. So just here, so Kate's saying, I was just meaning if I suddenly think of something and want to make a note. So in that context, you couldn't create big, long notes, so you couldn't write a book in its whole entirety, because things like these voice technologies that are listening, especially like dictation like this into your phone, it does cap out at a certain amount. You can only talk for a certain amount of time, and then it will stop to make sure that it's caught up and corrected everything, because that's when it makes sure it makes all its amendments, is when you stop. So it only runs for a certain amount of time. What you're talking about, Kate, is you could use something like talking to Siri and saying, make a note that says, and then dictate what you want, and it would literally open a note, write it all out for you. And if you're using Google Maps on your phone, you'd then also be able to ask Siri to reopen the application for Maps to bring you back into it. So yes, in that context, a quick thought that you wanted to jot down, instead of trying to grab a pen and paper and trying to actually jot it down, which would be way less safe. If you need to make that note and you know that you're still going to be driving for another hour, yes, by all means you can use that to do that. But remember, try to use things the most sensibly you can. I don't want to make anyone less safe. I want to help you to be more productive, more efficient, and to get more done. But also, I want to keep you safe. I want you to stay a part of this active community. So you've just seen me use voice to text on my phone to put it into my notes. My notes then came across to my phone. In the same way, if I go to the computer over here and I paste in, so this is how we, let's make this one a little bit bigger, if it's going to allow me to. Here we go. So if I blow this up, this will show you the broadcast that we set up this week. So of course we had Monday was a mindset for better productivity. Tuesday was planning for productivity. Wednesday was tools. Thursday's repurposing. Friday, better processes. And today, productivity challenge. All of those of you who said, I'm in, I want to help you. So throughout this week, I'm actually going to give you nudges throughout the week to share and remind you how to do some of this stuff. Now, remember, I've said to you, there's multiple ways that you can actually do this. And we've obviously been using the phone over here to create notes and show you how to move it from one thing across to another. Obviously, when I write this on the computer, I can copy and paste this. All of the links that I put in are actually pre-set up, pre-curated, and then they appear onto my phone, which means when I go live on Instagram, I can lift out the specific topic. So for example, Monday I can copy and paste this. I've got notes on the phone. I could open it from there. One thing I actually do is I use, within most platforms, you can actually message yourself. So I actually, to make it quick and easy, message myself on Messenger so that it's sat there really quickly and easily, because that pops up as a notification. I can grab it on the other phone and paste it in as the title. So the titles that you guys see on Instagram are created on my computer, sent via Messenger, and they're sat there when I need them. So it's about looking at each tool, each system, each process you've got, planning how to use them better, and improving your productivity all along the way. So what I want to do here, I've just showed you how to do that by using notes. Now, that's great, but what if that's not what we want to achieve? Maybe we're looking at, how do I implement this to increase my productivity massively? I'm going to challenge you to do more on your mobile phone this week. Come away from the computer and try to use your mobile. It's an expensive piece of kit if you've got a smartphone, and very few people are leveraging it to its full capacity. So right now, I want to go full focus on the mobile phone. So we're going to jump that up to being the full screen, and I'm going to share with you how I would use this technology and how you can use it too. So for this challenge, I want to encourage you all week to challenge yourself to do things in a new way and to try to use this technology that I'm sharing with you, these ways of working, to leverage how you respond, how you do lots of things within the business. So I'm going to quickly open up Facebook, because this is obviously a very common example. We're going to open up my Facebook here, and then literally right here inside of Facebook, you can do exactly the same thing. Because the voice to text technology is happening within the device, you can see when I go to write a status update here on Facebook, you can actually use the dictation here. So I'm going to show you how you could use this to speed up your speed of response to people on social media. You can write your status updates, you can respond to comments this way, and this is going to save you a massive amount of time. So here we go. This status was written using my voice during #breakfast&business. So you can see right there on my timeline. Why not join us Monday to Saturday at 8 a.m. live? And then I'm going to quickly type this bit. You can dictate things like the symbols. You can even, technically, you can dictate emojis. It gets quite complicated and you need to learn how to do that. So here we go. So I've just done that. This bit, obviously, I have to do manually. So let's change that one to excited and post it. So what we've done there is I've shown you how you could do a status update on your mobile phone using your voice. You heard me speak it, you saw it appear on the screen, and that's now there live on Facebook. When you jump off this broadcast, please go and give that a like, leave a comment, tell me how powerful you think that tool is and how you could use it. Of course, it doesn't just work when you're doing the statuses. How many of you found this tool useful, and how many of you will use it? Question mark. Let me know below in the comments. So again, using my voice to text. Now, here's a killer tip that I'm going to share with you. Watch what I type here. If I type dot down, look what happens in the suggested section. I get these arrows where if I tap on there, I've now put a load of arrows in. What I've done is I've actually used another functionality that I'm going to share with you how to do this so that you can speed up the process. So I'm not just using voice to text. I'm using another functionality that I'm going to share with you really quickly now. So if we go back into settings, again, straight back to normal settings here. And then we're going to go to general. Then we're going to go to keyboard. And then we're going to go to this great tool, second one down from the top, text replacement. So here, now you might wonder why I put dot down. If I scroll down here, you'll notice that I've got all sorts of things set up here with dot something in the functionality. Now, the reason for that is unless you think through really carefully and you're super vigilant about what letter combinations you use, remember that those letter combinations might appear in the middle of words. So by adding a dot at the beginning of them, you don't ever write a dot and then a combination of letters. So this just safeguards you from writing a block of text in the middle of a word you thought you were typing out. So we use dots. We also use hashtags. So if I scroll right to the bottom, I've got like hashtags here, and I'll demonstrate for you exactly how that works inside of Notes. So for example, I just showed you if I type dot down and then press space, so all I've typed is 5 letters and it gives me all the emojis that I wanted. So if there's common combinations of things that you want, that would work like that. So watch this. Let me show you in a really quick fashion how I can add emojis, I can add a link, and I could send this as a status update. Or if someone was asking how they could join our free community, I'll show you how quickly and easily I could show them. Why not join our free social media training community? Question mark. Voice to text. Could have done the line breaks with my voice too. Then I'm going to use dot down to put my arrows in. If Facebook, if my Notes wants to play. There we go, dot down to add my emojis in. And then watch this. If I type, so we've got these, you have to remember the shortcuts. So make them something that you'll remember. So for us, free social media training is FSM. So I'm going to put dot FSM. And you can see it's pre-written a middle block for me, the grey one. If I tap that, it's put the link in for me. So if you guys haven't already, please do. Again, up here, it's put 3 social. So occasionally there's things that you need to correct, down to my articulation and the fact that I was more focused on my speaking into the microphone for you guys than I was on here. But still, if you're writing a lot of content this way, moving from 40 words a minute to 120 words a minute is a massive productivity increase. Even if you have to make a couple of tweaks and amendments, a lot of the time, a general typo you can tap on and it will give you suggestions to correct it. It's quite intelligent in knowing what you were trying to say based on the fact that you used your voice to write it in the first place. It's not sure between 2 options. It puts one down, but when you tap it, it knows what the other options were as well. So you're going to have that as an ability. So now you can do this. If you've ever typed stuff, if you're on a Facebook Live or things like that, and you've ever needed to share a link, for example, that's exactly the same. Maybe you're going to use maybe you're doing Instagram and you need to add those hashtags that you like to use all the time. So for us, we've obviously got let's quickly drop hashtag TG. Here we go. There's a whole load of hashtags that I might want to use. So I've quickly dropped that in. And look how much text I wrote really, really quickly. You've got to remember the shortcuts and set this up. Now, I'm going to get you throughout this week to set all of this up. So if you haven't already, it's important to make sure that you do this. Sally's saying, yep, great question, Kate. Going back to the making notes quickly. As I run, I get great ideas. Come home and I've forgotten. So Sally, you could literally drop out of the broadcast, open notes, use voice to text, and within 1 minute be out and back into the broadcast, and you wouldn't really miss much of it. So Absolutely. Bev's saying, linked my phone to my computer so it all works together. Absolutely killer. Samsung is a little bit more complicated, but you can do it. I'm live on StreamYard through my computer live for you today. I'm normally live on my Samsung Galaxy Note 9, and actually Instagram is coming through a Samsung Galaxy Note 9 right now, so you can actually follow along on there. There are ways that you can do this across all of the different tools. Like I said, natively inside of Google, if you've got any of the Google services and products, you can actually use like Google Drive, Google Documents in order to do this. Elizabeth, wow, loving that. We'll be setting that up. So again, you can use this for all sorts of stuff. If you were... I get asked for my email address all the time. Have you ever shared your own details, your email address, your web address, something like that, and you've made a typo? Embarrassing, and even more awkward, the person thinks they've got your email and they're sending it to the wrong place. So for me, I don't actually type my email address anymore. I type .ema, press space, and my email address drops nice and clearly in there. So instead of typing tg@itsnomad9.com, instead of that I type .ema space, and it writes it for me. So I'll just demonstrate that again. .ema space, and it types out my email address for me really quickly. It means that you're never going to make a typo again, and it's going to speed up your process of giving that information to someone. We use it for if people need to post stuff. I have my home address saved, I have my email saved, I have my phone number, so people that want to contact us. And in fact, you guys are going to want to take detail on what I'm about to do. So when I type .no, this is the mobile phone number that is the main number for It's Nomad 9. Grab this phone number, because throughout this week we're going to contact you, and this will be the phone number that we'll be using. For those of you who are going to get involved in the challenge, I'm going to quickly ask you, if you use WhatsApp, type the word WhatsApp in big capital letters down in the comments. If you're involved in the challenge and you want to raise your productivity, type WhatsApp down there, because I'm going to share with you some other things through WhatsApp. If you're available on WhatsApp, we're going to add that phone number, we're going to connect, and I'm going to share with you even more value than we do here on the live. So do grab that phone number. Feel free to add it to your address book. Feel free to grab that email address as well. I'm going to quickly tidy this up a little bit. Feel free to grab that phone number, grab that email address, and keep in contact. Remember, my motto is I selfishly want to help everyone. So if there's something I can do to help you, I'm going to help you to improve your process. Great to see people jumping in. Mum in on WhatsApp, Elizabeth in on WhatsApp, Sally coming in on WhatsApp as well, Kate coming in on WhatsApp. Now, the reason I get you to leave these comments is so I can go back after the broadcast, go through the people who have commented, who are showing that they're committed and they want to take action, and then I'll contact you privately. Obviously, I don't want to get people dropping their phone numbers in a public forum. So what we'll do is we'll connect in chat through Messenger, and then we'll have a conversation through there. Dave is using business WhatsApp. Dave, I'd love to know what extra features and functionality drove you over to using business WhatsApp, and why you moved from the standard WhatsApp over to business. Love to have a conversation with you around that. But yeah, you can use WhatsApp on the web. I want to share with you, if you haven't done this before, really, really powerful stuff. You can go to web.whatsapp.com, and that'll allow you to go and load your WhatsApp on your computer. Loads of people don't know this, and again, it's another productivity hack. That means you can have it up there live. One of the things that we do within our business is we can actually have WhatsApp conversations, and then we can actually add parts of that conversation into our CRM system without having to copy and paste it. We've got a couple of productivity tools that we use that allow us to track conversations. Ever had a conversation in Messenger or WhatsApp or text, and you need to remember it because a client said something that you need to make a note of? If you're using a CRM, which is a customer relationship management software, then you should be adding those details in so that you've got them for reference later. And if you work as part of a team, so that the team can see the conversations that have been had. So we use web WhatsApp. So again, it's web.whatsapp.com, and then you simply scan the QR code from inside your WhatsApp application, and it brings your messages up to the screen so that you can control it. Obviously, if you're in a sensitive environment, if you are working in an office with lots of other people, just be conscious that obviously if you bring it up on a big screen, it's much more visible, and be really conscious of what you're bringing up on the screen at the time. So we've talked about a few different things here. Now to set you the challenge for this week. if you've said you're in, if you've said WhatsApp down below, then we're going to keep you on track for taking massive action. Now, this challenge is going to run all of this week. Now, this week's content will still be coming out. So we'll still be doing breakfast and business, but alongside breakfast and business, I want to help you increase your productivity. I've showed you how you can type using your voice. I've showed you how you can take text and get it read back to you so that you can consume content in a more effective and efficient way. But putting it into practice is where the magic happens. Information isn't what makes a massive difference. It's implementation. So this week, we're going to share with you via WhatsApp and via updates, sharing with you how you can take part in this challenge. So if you're in, remember, you've still got a chance. If you're on the replay, you've still got a chance. Drop down below, I'm in, big bold letters. And also, if you want to be on the WhatsApp, type WhatsApp in big bold letters below so that I can make sure that I message all of you and get you into getting as much information as possible. If you're on WhatsApp, you're going to get more updates than you will throughout the challenge. If you just want the challenge, we'll be setting the challenge up as an event on Facebook so that you'll be able to see all of the updates there and you'll be able to get involved. You can invite your friends as well. Remember, we talk about this all the time. We teach it. It's things that we actually practically use ourselves in the business, and we want to show you how to leverage this all week. Now, the first thing today is making the commitment to doing that for 7 days. More importantly than doing it for 7 days, we're going to get you before we do anything is actually to commit to looking at the processes you use today. So where you write your emails. I'm going to give you a list of things via message. I'll message you. If you haven't said WhatsApp, it will come to you in Messenger. If you said WhatsApp, I want to connect with you in Messenger, get your contact number, add you to our WhatsApp, and then I'm going to send you a message to get you to track some things, because you can only see what level of productivity increase you've had when you've tracked and measured the things that you already do. So we're talking about writing emails, writing blogs, creating content for social, responding to comments, writing status updates. All of these things are things that we're going to look at throughout this week, and I'm going to break it down. Having us on WhatsApp means that you can ask those questions. If you get stuck, if you forget, if you're not sure how to do something, you have access to us. It's completely 100% free. Share this with other people. Let's get lots of people involved. I want to raise the productivity, not just of you guys, but of your network and community too. So when I set that event up, I will drop it below this video, and I will also share it on my profiles and across all our pages. So keep your eyes out for that. It's going to be hashtag breakfast and business productivity challenge is what we will be calling the event. So after this broadcast, I'll be setting it up. You'll get to go and get connected with that. There'll be an option to join via WhatsApp or via Messenger. And then we'll communicate with you on a daily basis to just keep you on track, check in with how you're doing, see which features and functionality you're currently using, how you can improve your processes, set up your plan, and move things in the right direction. I've been really excited to spend time with you this morning. Thank you so much, guys, for turning up. I know it's on a Saturday. I know that it's fairly early for a lot of people, but I know that we've spent longer than we normally do, but I wanted to show you in real time the things that you can do. So we're talking writing your emails, updating your statuses, even writing that book that's been in your head for a long time. A lot of people don't get around to doing things because it takes too long. It's maybe difficult, it's complicated. We put up lots of barriers that stop us from showing up as best we can. Now, this week, we want to help you to show up more than you've ever shown up before. Think about when you go to respond to comments on a status update or a share that you've been putting out. I want to encourage you to understand that using your voice will speed up the process and make it easier to respond to more people. So if you had 20 minutes to respond and you had to sit and type it, and you had 20 minutes and you use your voice, whether that's voice notes, video, or sending voice to text, you're going to be able to respond to more people, therefore grow your impact and influence. So this week, throughout the Productivity Challenge, we're going to share with you how you can implement all the tools, tips, and tricks that we've shared with you throughout this week, implement them in your business, and raise your productivity by 400% or more. It's only going to happen though if you take action. It all comes from implementation, not the information. So it's on you to take action, to get involved, and to take massive steps in the right direction for increasing your productivity and becoming more efficient every single day. I'm really excited to have so many of you here, so many of you in on the challenge. I will be contacting you throughout the day today just to check in, get your contact details, make sure that you're tracking and measuring the things that you're currently doing so that you can then look at ways you can improve all of those processes so that we can help you become more productive, more efficient, get more done in less time, and then also decide how you're going to use the time that you've saved. Maybe you'll take more time out, or maybe you're going to actually double down and get more done and grow your business even faster. You guys are incredible. As always, please don't keep this broadcast to yourself. Please share it with someone else. Either tag them in the comments, and as you do, tell them why they need to be here. Hit share it to your wall, share it into groups that you're in, share it on your Facebook page, share it via text or WhatsApp. I don't care how you share it. Grab the link, send it on email. Share it with 3 other people today. Help us to be more productive by helping more people each time we show up online. It's really important that you're active in this community, that you're part of Breakfast and Business. It's about active participation. Thank you so much for all the comments, for all the feedback, for all the people wanting to get involved in this challenge. This challenge is open to anyone. If you know anyone in business, it's completely free, and the next 7 days are going to change how you operate your business from a productivity and efficiency standpoint. We're going to show you how to iron out those little blips that you'll find as you change your processes, and you have us on hand all week to answer your questions, support you, and to help you get better productivity moving forwards. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for Breakfast and Business. Again, this has been a productivity challenge. Can't wait to help you. Even if you caught this as a replay, maybe you're not here during the time that it went out live, then please comment below and get involved anyway. Let's help you move forward with your productivity. We're going to run this challenge for the next 7 days. If you catch this on the replay, let us know that you'd like to be in on it, and we'll let you know when we're running all of the support for a week again in the future. You guys are incredible. Thank you for all of the comments down here. Great broadcast. Thank you. So much good feedback comes in from these broadcasts. I also love hearing from you. So please do connect with me as ImTristanG across all the socials. Ask me your questions. Message me. You can get into my private messages and drop me messages on all those different platforms. Ask the things that you want to ask. Get the help that you need to get today and become more productive and efficient moving forward for your business. That's it for another Breakfast and Business. Remember, they come Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. UK time. I didn't get the event up yesterday, but it will be up today for next week. We're going to be focusing on something that you are not going to want to miss. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And when you find the event, remember, invite 3 people that you know would get massive value from being on Breakfast and Business. This has been a slightly longer broadcast because we've been demoing things, and it's about setting you up for success this week. I can't wait to share with you over the next week loads more tips, tricks that will improve your business. Reminders of things that maybe you already know but aren't implementing and pushing you in the right direction, or bringing you brand new ideas that will fundamentally change how you operate your business and also the results that you get. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening. Have an incredible weekend, and I will catch all of you guys again on Monday. If you're in on the challenge, keep an eye on your inbox. If we're not connected already, feel free to add me so that we can have more of a conversation, and let's get you moving your business forward more productively and more efficiently today. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, and I will catch you for another Breakfast and Business again on Monday.